If you want to upscale an image using ZImage Turbo, there are several ways to do that. Here's how. So in this workflow, I have it broken out into several groups. So we have our loaders, basically our image that we're going to be providing as an input, along with some get set nodes to make organization a little bit easier. And if you want to pass a LoRA through this workflow, you can just unbypass this node. Additionally, I have this optional prompt box here. So this basically just describes that image. Since we're upscaling an image, I don't want to have to retype the prompt every time. So this way it will automatically do it for me. So let's go through the many different ways to upscale an image. The first option here is to use a ControlNet Tile, and this is recommended if you want to stay fairly true to the original input image. So as you can see here is we bring in the ZImage Turbo model, and then we're going to pass in a LoRA. This JPEG LoRA helps to make sure that the final image looks pretty clear. We're also going to add in the ControlNet, so we're using the ZImage Turbo Fun ControlNet Tile 2.1, 8 steps, and I'll put a link to this in the description. And then we pass in all the usual suspects here for the VAE and prompt and so on. And then as far as the image itself, we're going to basically upscale and then also pre-process it. So the upscaled image, we're going to be using the Ultra Sharp V2 upscaler and increase the size of that image to 1536 at its largest size. So we'll pass this into the latent space of the K-sampler, but then also too, we're going to add it into this tile preprocessor for the ControlNet. So this will look at it at a resolution of 1024 and then pass it into the ZImage Fun ControlNet node. Now, if you don't have this node available within ComfyUI, you'll just want to make sure that you update ComfyUI as it was recently added. And the strength here, you'll see I dialed it down to 0.8 because I found that this final output looked a little better without using the ControlNet at 1 strength. Then we'll pass that into the model sampling RR flow along then into the K sampler. And as you can see on these results, if we zoom in, this is the ControlNet Tile output and then this is the original. So we can see details like his jacket really kind of get more defined in this ControlNet Tile pass. Some of the facial features do subtly change, so we could play with this by adjusting the denoise value down just a little bit. I had it at a value of 0.2, and if we zoom out a little bit more, we can see such details like the sidewalk get a little bit more defined in this ControlNet Tile pass, but overall it stays fairly faithful to the original image. So the next option is to upscale the image in the pixel space and then reprocess the image. Now this can get a little bit more creative whenever it comes to the final output. But as you can see here is all we bring in is the ZImage Turbo model along with the prompts and such. And then we just basically upscale this image by 1.5 and then encode it and pass it into the K sampler. Now I have the denoise value set to 0.5, but you'll want to kind of play with this in order to get the desired output that you're looking for. But a higher value will get the image further away from the original input image. And if we can see in the results here, the final output image looks quite good, but the person itself, he doesn't really take on any resemblance of the original character. So this can work if you tolerate some changes in an upscaled image. Next, we have Ultimate SD Upscale, which has been around now for a couple of years and does a phenomenal job across any sort of generative model, with ZImage Turbo included. So we would just pass the ZImage Turbo into the Ultimate SD Upscale node. We are going to upscale by 1.5, set all the settings just like you would within the K sampler. So I turned down the denoise value to 0.7, and then we have the tile width and height at 1024 by 1024. I believe I left all these other settings at their default values. And when reviewing an image, we can see here that just like the ControlNet Tile, it works fairly well in defining features without really adjusting the output image all that much. We can see that his facial features look pretty good. The jacket and even the sweater looks a little bit more, has a little bit more depth to it than what it previously had. And then even details like on his sneakers, we can see scuff marks and such look really good through this Ultimate SD Upscale. Last but not least, I want to touch on Seed VR2. Now, as you can see here, this does not use the image turbo, but it does a phenomenal job at creating one-for-one upscales of grainy or low resolution images. And I just wanted to demonstrate this really quick because it's really good for video purposes such as WAN 2.2 or the brand new Lightrix model. But if we take a look at the image compare here, this is with Seed VR2 and then this was the original. So if you are really adamant on wanting to get the original image, a one-for-one representation, I strongly recommend using this method because there's really not much in the way of creativity, but it does a really good job of bringing out the details of a low resolution image. So that's it with upscaling images using Z Image Turbo and a few options that you have available to you. This workflow is available on the Prompting Pixels website. Just simply search in Google Prompting Pixels ComfyUI workflows and you should be able to find it. If you have any questions, of course, please drop a line in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.